If you shower or brush your teeth or try to make your hair look presentable, here's some good news. Dollar Shave Club has a lot of stuff to help you out. Dollar Shave Club delivers everything you need to look, feel, and smell your best. Shampoo, conditioner, body wash, toothpaste, hair gel, even a wipe that leaves your tush feeling tingly clean. All of Dollar Shave Club's products are made with top-shelf ingredients that won't break your budget. You'll feel the difference. Plus, shipping is free with your membership. And here's a great way to try a bunch of Dollar Shave Club's products for just $5. You can get their Daily Essential Starter Set. It comes with Body Cleanser, One Wipe Charlie's, their amazing butt wipes, and their world-famous shave butter. And their best razor, the 6-Blade Executive. Keep the blades coming for a few more bucks a month and add in a shampoo, toothpaste, or anything else you need. Check it all out at dollarshaveclub.com/Chad. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Chad.
Independent in thought and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
President Trump said he and Russian President Vladimir Putin spent a great deal of time talking about Russia and election interference, but he was asked by a reporter to look forward to future elections.
With the whole world watching, tell President Putin, would you denounce what happened in 2016, and would you warn him to never do it again?
But the president never did that. Instead, he talked about Hillary Clinton's emails and a DNC server. He said while U.S. intelligence leaders tell him that Russia interfered in the election.
President Putin, he just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be.
Oh, there's so many ways to go with this. How you doing? Happy Monday. So many ways. My frustration, and I think a lot of people's frustration today, is coming from the point where I think you had a chance to send a message. I think you had a chance to send a message today to the American people, not to Putin. You had your chance behind closed doors. We don't know what went down behind closed doors. We don't know it all. We have zero idea what went down behind closed doors. He may have looked at him after the niceties. Hey, how you doing? Congratulations on the World Cup. It was a great deal. Your team made a great run. Blah, 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 blah. You guys did good. You know, we're going to host it a couple years. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, thanks so much for meeting me here. Blah, 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 blah. Look, let me tell you something, Pooter. If you and your country ever do what you did in the last election, so help me. My toupee and I, it's not a toupee, will come over here and we're going to go absolutely crazy on you, Tasmanian devil style, and we're going to break every Fabergé egg and nesting doll you guys have ever made. Do you hear me? Do we have do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Do you understand what I'm saying? Crush you, crush your soul, everything. We will destroy your natural gas business. We will give natural gas away. We'll figure out a way to pipe it over here. We will do everything we can. Oil business, you name it, we will destroy you. Do we have an understanding? Now, in saying that, I'm not going to embarrass you out there. I'm going to go out there and say you didn't do anything. You didn't know anything. Blah, 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 blah. But I hope we get it. I hope we get it. Are you looking at me? Do we get it? Do we get it? We get it. Maybe that happened. Or maybe he went in there and goes, man, this is just crap, dude. You didn't do anything, right? Like, you didn't do anything, right? I mean, right? You're telling me you didn't do anything, right? Right? So you promise you didn't do anything?
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today.
What is he going to say? Of course we did it. No, what is he going to say? We indicted 12 of your ding-dongs the other day. You meddle. Look, a lot of countries meddle. We meddle. Everybody meddles in each other's elections. We do that. I get that. There's a different form of meddling that went on. And on the scale of importance to our country, to the day-to-day workings of every human being here, this probably ranks well down there. We want to know the outcome. We want to understand what took place. We want to make sure it doesn't happen again and really cause a mess in our election cycle. We want to make sure that doesn't happen. But in the day-to-day work, you go to work, I go to work, we all do our thing, we have our weekends, we have our kids, we have this, that, and the other. It doesn't play as high as I think a lot of people in the media would like to think it does. But I would like to know. I want to know. I do. And I think the way he handled this today, he should have come out and said, look, this is the way I feel. This is what we did. We're going to go out there. It's no disrespect to you. I am going to talk tough, though. Understand. All right, I'm talking tough because I'm pissed, and we should be talking tough. You can't do this to our country. And the difference between our country and whether or not we try to do anything over there or anybody else does anything anywhere is their media is much different than our media. Our media is a free press, despite what Trump likes to say it is, despite the arguments they have with each other. Our media is free. It's so free. So in saying that, it's a lot different than trying to spread a rumor or fake news, whatever you want over there, because that stuff gets nipped in the bud fast. And the stuff that may be real, that we see on the outside looking in, not just us, but all of the world when it comes to the pooter, that stuff never even hits the streets in a real way over there. So, yeah, I was disappointed the way he handled this. I wasn't the only one. A lot of people out there were upset in the way that he handled this today. I think he really, I think he missed out. I think he did. I think he could have been stronger. He could have been harsher. Now, behind closed doors, it's kind of like Vegas, right? Kind of like Fight Club. It stays there. We ain't talking about it. Whatever happened in there is fine. But for the people of America, I think he could have been a little bit tougher, and he could have sent a stronger message. And not just the Democrats are hammering him, the Republicans are hammering him too.
The words we've been hearing, bizarre, shameful, disgraceful. And those are only the Republicans. In fact, even staunch Trump allies like Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah are pushing back on his assertions that questioned and said he didn't know why there would be any reason for Russia to have interfered in our elections.
And one of the things, and I'm going to say this right now, one of the things that really kind of pissed me off today was, well, we're both kind of at fault. What the hell are you talking about? We're both kind of at fault? Nobody's guilt-free? Are you kidding me? Look, I think behind closed doors, it was probably a little bit more tense than out there with the smiles and stuff. I would like to think so. I wasn't in there, neither were you. So we're just speculating at this point. But the reality is, I think the message that should have been sent to the people of the United States of America, Trump missed out on big time. And I was frustrated by that. And the fact that he, we hammer Obama for going on his apology tour. And today you had a chance to not so much set the record straight, because that is going to be set straight-ish. We're never going to know the entire story of what took place during the election. But you could have at least sent a certain message, and you didn't. And then you kind of threw us all under the bus, and you didn't protect your institutions when it came to your intelligence community and stuff. And you had a chance to do that, and I think you failed.
Orrin Hatch put out a statement that simply said Russia interfered in the 2016 election. These seem like things, especially to Republicans, that should just be clear. But, of course, the president made it very unclear, and so now they see it as their responsibility to go out and correct the record.
And remember this. Trump's presidency, since the day he became president, they've been trying to do everything to make sure that he's not a legitimate president. That the media, the Democrats, they've been on him, because there's still some of them out there are still trying to figure out, how didn't she win? How take away Trump. Let's say it was Kasich, right? Hillary's still bad. She's still a bad candidate. And then today they asked Putin, who did you want to win? He's like, Trump. And you're like, not that, I mean, what is he going to say? Well, we wanted Hillary to win, and we thought we were doing everything we could, but whatever. I mean, what is he going to say? He's standing right next to him, and niceties and the whole 9 yards. They were playing nice. He missed an opportunity today that, to me, he had a chance to set straight to some of the American people that I'm not his, I'm not his lapdog. I'm not a puppet. I'm not any of these things. And I think he missed the opportunity to send the message. And he strengthened for some people on the left. And I think he disappointed some people on the right. And it, for me as a person, because I look at the collusion, I'm still looking at all this stuff. Where is it? What happened? Were their votes changed? I want to see all of those things. Because if it's some ancillary characters that maybe did or didn't do some stuff and tried to use their, the fact that they were in the campaign kind of, but not really, and strengthen their position, trying to make some money, or maybe trying to appease him, but never really got up to him, and they never really found anything out, and he really didn't have anything to do with any of this other stuff. If that's all that comes out of this, sorry, that's not enough to say that that's the only reason he won. If they changed votes, if that stuff happens, hey, you got me listening. I'm paying attention. But I want to see all that other stuff. And nobody's getting this is one thing. Well, how much did it influence the election? Did it influence you? Nobody's going to come out and say, yeah, I was stupid, and I was looking, and I was like, oh, geez, look at that. It's a meme, and I got to go what that meme says about Hillary, so I changed my vote. Nobody's going to come out and say that. So people are going to say, it didn't really influence me. Maybe some people it did. I don't know. But I don't think it had as big an impact. I think the word jobs had a huge impact, and I think Hillary wasn't as great a candidate as a lot of people still like to make her out to be. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. MyPillow is amazing. Took my MyPillow this weekend. Laid down. Just grabbed it. Like on the couch, just chilling. I'm like, I grabbed my pillow. 3 hours. I passed out. Oh, jeez. Delicious. It was incredible. Amazing. It has changed the way I sleep. I feel great. I feel amazing. I've got more energy. And I didn't realize after going forever and a day without getting great sleep how great this is. And I'm a type A personality. I go. MyPillow helps me get the rest that I need, and I love it. Here's the deal. They're doing a buy one, get one free right now, right? The BOGO. You're going to love it. First and foremost, MyPillow's made right here in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty, 100% machine washable and dryable. And if you call 800-944-4975 or go to MyPillow.com, use promo code Benson, you're going to buy one, you're going to get one free. You're going to love it. It's going to help you sleep like you've never slept before. It is amazing. Call now, 800-944-4975 or go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code Benson. Buy one, get one free. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. We got a poll question. We got your urban word of the day. And we bid adieu to the world's biggest sporting event. What am I going to do now? Chad Benson Show.
Hashtag me too. Hashtag immigration reforms. Hashtag help. I'm trapped in a hashtag factory and I can't get out. The Chad Benson Show.
You can text the program 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Again, I looked at all of the stuff today, and I was disappointed. I thought Trump could have been a little stronger, and I don't think he was. What are they saying? And I find this to be interesting in Russia. And this is interesting. It's about body language.
We're seeing Russian TV describing Trump as kind of tense and leaning towards Putin, whereas Putin is very relaxed. And this is all very good at projecting Putin as an indispensable figure in the world.
I could have done better. What do you think? Tweet at me at Chad Benson Show. You can also text the program 323-538-2423. Got a poll question up today, and it is about the actual 2016 election. How much of an influence did it have? Give us what you think. Did it have a lot or a little? 26% say huge effect. 36% say little. 38% say no effect at all. Take the poll at Chad Benson Show. You can also tweet at me or text the program 323-538-2423 each and every day at this time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We like to have a little fun with you. It's something we simply call our urban word of the day.
It's time for the urban word of the day, fam.
What? Right now?
Time to get a little more hip on the streets.
I can't understand a word you're saying.
Urban word of the day.
You can use this how you want to use this. Tweet-plomacy, right? Sometimes you go out there and you're a head of state and you use Twitter to tweet a bunch of stuff, a little tweet-plomacy. Sometimes you're just somebody who's trying to calm things down between you and your friends or whatnot, and you use a little tweet-plomacy. I think Trump has learned how to use tweet-plomacy, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But tweet-plomacy isn't just about politics. It's about all kinds of things, even pop culture. Tweet-plomacy is your urban word of the day.
Thank you for saying that in dated urban slang so that I'll understand you. That there was the urban word of the day. We damn stretched your cranium.
If they can play at 50, 60% and not play expansive football and still win the World Cup, that's not a bad thing. I don't think anybody in 20 years' time will say, well, actually, France didn't play particularly good football and weren't at their very best. They've won the World Cup. They're the world champions. And you can't take that away from them.
Yeah, World Cup ended yesterday, and France won 4-2. I think I said on Friday, I think they were going to win 3-1, but they did what all the other teams couldn't do against Croatia, which is they got further and further ahead of them, and the game opened up. It was fun to watch. It was interesting. We had everything. We had a penalty kick through a VAR, which is the video assistant referee. It was enjoyable. Easily the best World Cup. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't. But I'm going to say this right now. Kudos to Russia. A great job. Russia was an amazing host. They did a fantastic job. It was definitely really they showed the country in a very positive way, and it was easily the best World Cup in since I can remember. I've been watching the World Cup since I was a kid. 78 was the first World Cup I really got into, and I've been watching it since I was a kid, and it was great. The only thing, I think Fox struggled. They did a horrible job. That's been the knock. ESPN did a great job in their World Cup coverage in Brazil and the European Cup coverage. Fox did an awful job here, and that with their announcers were unlistenable at times. John Strong and Taylor Twellman, who were the head announcers, they were okay. The rest of them, just awful. Absolutely awful. But the World Cup, great. 4.5 years we have to wait. France won yesterday, and they were brilliant. And the funny thing was, we didn't even see them play a full, complete game, and they mowed through everybody. It was like they had a switch. They could turn it on whenever. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Today's a big day for one company, and it didn't start off great. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
I don't believe Mr. Putin. I believe our intelligence officials who produced the intelligence community assessment, and I believe the indictment that Robert Mueller has now presented.
Yeah, that's a Republican. That's John Cornyn right there. Trump wants to believe that the Pooter was involved. I mean, he really said he didn't do anything. I mean, like, he really said it.
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today.
Maybe. I think, as a thinking man with common sense, I look at this and I say, yeah, they meddled. They meddled. They absolutely meddled. How much of an effect did it have? That's another story, right? Because as I've said earlier, nobody's going to come out and say it totally affected me. I want a redo. I want a mulligan. Nobody's going to come out and say that. Nobody's going to come out and say, I was fooled. The meme fooled me. That's on you, right? That's on you. That is. But in saying that, they meddled. They absolutely meddled. And I think today Trump could have been stronger on the pooter. And you know what? You don't even have to be stronger on the pooter. You could have talked to the American people saying, look, we discussed this. I told him under no circumstances is this to happen again. He said he didn't do anything. I said I have intelligence that says otherwise. But moving forward, this isn't going to happen again. I want to tell the American people we're going to make sure that if we find some stuff that's happening, that we nip it in the bud immediately. And you could have, but you didn't do that today. And, you know, it's to me, I found it to be frustrating. Now, like I said, I don't know what happens behind closed doors. What happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors. Maybe he gave him a rollicking and said, let me tell you something right now, man. This is never going to happen again. Do you hear me, Vladimir? Do you understand the words? Let me spell it out for you with the translator here. Not going to happen again. No more. Never. Could have happened that way. Don't know. They might never have really touched it. He might have said, nah, yet. And then that's it. They moved on. But I think Trump missed an opportunity to speak to the American people today, and the right and left are coming down on him hard, and I think rightly so for this. I want my president to succeed. But there's no doubt that they meddled. There's no doubt that they tried to have some influence. And can I just say this for a second, too? I think sometimes we give them far more credit for their influence than they probably deserve. We're making them out to be the most powerful, influential country out there besides us, and that they could fool all Americans. And I don't think that to be true. Sometimes we are making a mountain out of a molehill when it comes to stuff like this. For the Democrats, they want to do everything they can to make sure that everybody looks at this president as an illegitimate president, and that his presidency was, basically it's not real and it was stolen from Hillary Clinton. And the media loves all the drama that surrounds Trump. So whatever they can do dramatic, they're going to grab a hold of. In saying all of that, let's just take a step back for a moment and say, maybe while they did try to do all they can to meddle, that we're probably giving them way too much credit for the influence that they had. I think that to be true. I'm not saying it didn't have a little effect on some people, but until you see votes were changed, things like this happened, they got in there and they changed votes, then, at some point in time, let's just all move on. All right? Because in this global world we live in, everybody's got some connection somewhere. And you're going to be able to tie something into somebody. But you're never going to be able to prove everything you think's going on. I want to see hard proof that says this is what happened. They changed everything. They wanted him to win. They destroyed her single-handedly, which most of you know that's not true. Even people on the left know that's not true. Even people on the left know that's not true. She did a lot of that stuff to herself. I talk to some people that make it seem like she knows she's an angel. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Makes you feel better. Come on. But I think today he missed an opportunity to really do something. And I'm hearing from right and left. Both people, both sides of the aisle are frustrated.
Where are the Republicans who demanded a strong response when Putin annexed Crimea? Where are the Republicans who know in their heart the president is giving away the store to Vladimir Putin?
Yeah, I don't know if they're giving away the store, but I am right there. And the Republicans are coming out today and they're hammering Trump, right? They are. They're coming after Trump, and they have every right to be frustrated. They absolutely do. One of the things is when they talked about like this dossier and stuff, and he's like, I know dossier. And, somebody, it's like, do you have something over Trump? He kind of paused for a second, and that might be lost literally in the translation of what's going on, because remember, they have earpieces in. People are answering, asking a question, and there's that. And, people are asking the question.
Millions of Americans will continue to wonder if the only possible explanation for this dangerous behavior is the possibility that President Putin holds damaging information over President Trump.
What would be the damaging information? To me, I'm curious. Because when you say that, that seems like blackmail, which seems like it's more embarrassing than classified information. I'm just throwing it out there. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. So today, right? Today is a big day. I've already ordered. Have you? Amazon Prime, but there was a little bit of a snafu.
Prime Day officially began at 3 p.m. Eastern on Monday, and within 7 minutes, users started seeing the words sorry, and below that, pictures of dogs. Amazon tweeted that some customers were having difficulty shopping and that it was working to fix the problem. It says in the first hour, U.S. customers ordered more items this year compared to the first hour of last year's Prime Day. The company says there's plenty of time left as they've extended Prime Day to 36 hours in total.
Yeah, there was an issue. Like, if you're going to start your big day, that's it. And by the way, did you see $150 billion is what Bezos is worth? He's now the richest man in modern history. $150 billion. So what are some of the big things that people are excited about? For parents, you use this day for something that's not super sexy, but makes you smile.
We learned last year that more customers purchased backpacks, pencils, pens, and glue sticks on Prime Day 2017 than any other day last year. So it's a big indicator that Prime Day is a huge day for back-to-school shopping.
Back to school shopping. Gotta like that. Absolutely have to like that. And here's the other thing. It's not just Amazon Prime, but because of Amazon Prime, if you're like, I'm not a Prime member, but I do shop on Amazon, you're not getting all the cool things you want, don't worry.
Amazon is getting the attention today, but other companies are also offering deals to keep up with Amazon. Best Buy, eBay, Walmart, Macy's, Nordstrom all have competing sales going on. But if you want to take part in Amazon's deal, you do have to be a Prime member.
Yeah. And I am. And I did purchase something, producer Phil. I did. It was great, man. It was like 30% off. I got a new little fit tracker because sometimes my mine dies and you have to have a special charger for it. So if I'm going to go work out or something like that or swim and I wanted one for swim, and it was normally like $70 and I got like a super discount. It'd only be like $29 plus, with no shipping. I was like, damn, I'll take that every day. Now, speaking of the deals, there are plenty of deals to be had.
The best discounts of the entire Prime Day extravaganza will be on Amazon-branded gadgets. We're talking Kindle tablets, Alexa smart speakers, Fire streaming media sticks. Prices should come down 30 to 50%. That's significant. Also, another tip, smart home devices, internet-connected lights, plugs, those are going to see really solid price cuts.
Yeah. Now's your chance. Cheap, cheap, cheap. And if you're looking to get somebody something good for Christmas cheap, right? Like that's awesome because Christmas is we're talking 4 months away, 4.5 months away. So it's not a bad deal to shop cheap today. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. What do you think? Do you think the Russian meddling had a huge influence on the election. A massive influence. No influence, little effect, no effect. Take the poll at Chad Benson Show. So far, 26% say it had a huge effect. That's pretty big. That's 1 in 4 think it had a massive effect on the election. 36% said little effect. That's me. 38% says no effect. I'm telling you guys, though, we sometime, we got to step back and say, are we giving them far more credit than they deserve? Right? Are we giving these 12 or 14 or 25 people this massive credit that they've pulled this great scam on all of America? How does that? Maybe we're giving them a little bit too much while we search for answers still on what happened on that November night and why she's not president and he is. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. Dollar Shave Club, yo. Love it. Today, woke up, took my shower, body wash. Brushed my teeth, toothbrush, toothpaste. Did my hair? You betcha. Hair gel. It's got everything you need. They're not just about razors. The razors are amazing. We know that. But they have everything you need to look, smell, and feel your best. You name it. Shampoo, body wash, conditioner, toothpaste, hair gel. You name it, they have it. And this is what's great about Dollar Shave Club right now, right? Top shelf ingredients. They're not going to break your budget. You want to join right now. It's simple and easy. For $5, you can get their Daily Essentials Starter Set. Comes with body cleanser, one wipe Charlie's, Dr. Carver's shave butter, so amazing. And their best razor, the 6-blade executive that keeps coming for just a few extra bucks a month. You're going to get that with the first razor. You're going to use it. You're going to go, I want this over and over again. It's only $5 to join. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And did I mention free shipping? Boom! Boom! Maybe throw some other stuff in there. Try some of their hair stuff and their body cleanser. You're going to like, this is amazing. All right, check it all out. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/Chad. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Chad. dollarshaveclub.com/Chad. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. ChadBenson. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Are you PC and groupthink brainwashed? Time for a double detox shot of Chad.
A cruise? Ooh. The animated sequel, Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation, opened to top the weekend box office, earning a slightly better than expected $44.1 million.
Whoa. You don't understand. My family's in there.
The news not so good for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's Skyscraper. The action thriller earned $25.4 million, $10 million less than the most modest pre-release estimates. Good for third place.
What'd I miss? We were just tiny.
Ant-Man and the Wasp drops to second at week 2 of release.
Yeah, quiet weekend at the box office. Not as big as I think a lot of people thought. Ant-Man and the Wasp are still doing well. But you got bigger movies coming out. This weekend you got Equalizer, Mamma Mia 2, and Unfriended. Then Mission Impossible 6 and Teen Titans Go the following week. And by the way, Mission Impossible 6, every review, and I had a couple people who worked on reshoots and who've seen the movie after recut, says, you are not going to believe how good this is. Easily the best Mission Impossible ever. Not even close. And oh, by the way, Tom Cruise, maybe the best movie he's done. Definitely the best work he's done in years. In years. You're going to freak out. And he went all Jackie Chan, meaning he's doing all of his own stunts. So it is crazy. So speaking of The Rock and, well, you know, how well stuff does and doesn't do, Forbes has their highest paid celebrities out and some interesting people on there.
I haven't touched a gun in 10 years.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's new movie Skyscraper may not have rocked the box office opening weekend, but it didn't hurt his checkbook. The new Forbes list of highest paid celebrities has him coming in 5th, earning $124 million in the last year. Judge Judy is 4th, cosmetics queen Kylie Jenner in 3rd, George Clooney in 2nd with $239 million, thanks largely to the sale of his tequila company, and first place goes to boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr., $285 million, thanks to last year's Conor McGregor fight.
I wonder what McGregor ended up pocketing from that. I'm assuming, and this is just an assumption, it was north of 100 and probably 20 million, I would assume, give or take a little bit. But $235 million, not a bad way to go out. And he's not going to have many more of those left. I don't think he's got any of those left. It's going to take a lot to get him out. And for as crazy as not Conor, but Money Mayweather can be. I think he's somewhat at times smart with his money as well. I think he's invested, and I don't think he's going to blow it like you see a lot of other people. But man, The Rock, that's a lot of money. He is. If you ask me today, who's probably the biggest, most bankable star, The Rock might be there. And remember, bankable is different. Just because you pay somebody and you get them in their movie, and it's different too with China. Because China has played such a huge part in movies nowadays, where Skyscraper may struggle here, when it opens up over there, it may make $250 million, $300 million. And that's why they made the movie where it's got a Hong Kong feel to it. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out, though. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, because The Rock is making money, and everything he seems to touch goes to gold. And last week he hinted again about a run for the presidency. And I'm curious as to, would you want to do that? I could see in 10, 15 years, but you're at the height of your profession right now, right? You can be the president in 20 years, but you, as we've seen with Schwarzenegger, you come back, that action star quality's gone, right? Because you're like, God, look at the Terminator. Hello, that's me, the Terminator. I'll crush you. Hold on, though. I've got to take my medicine. It's not the same. It's not. So I don't know if he would really say, yeah, I'm going to do that at the height of his money-making superstardom, although maybe he does want to be the president. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Okay, so question of the day on the old Facebook and Twitter is, how much do you think the Russia meddling helped Trump win, if at all? 27% say it has a huge effect on the election. 35% said little effect. 38% said no effect at all. What do you think? You can tweet at us at Chad Benson Show. You can text the program. The text line, 323-538-2423, 323-538-2423. Happy Monday. It's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
I addressed directly with President Putin the issue of Russian interference in our elections. I felt this was a message best delivered in person. Spent a great deal of time talking about it.
But what did you learn? I'm curious. Because based on what I saw today, I wasn't thrilled by the message that maybe you delivered, at least in public. I don't know what you did in private. Nobody knows what you did in private. Nobody knows what you guys got up to in private. Couldn't tell you. But I will tell you this. You had a chance to deliver a message to the American people today that you're not a puppet of Putin. That you guys aren't best pals. That you can be strong when it comes to him. And it felt like you fell short on that. I wasn't happy with it. Now, he could have wandered into that room. They could have got their niceties out of the way. He could look right at the pooter and said, man, I'm going to drop kick you through the goalpost of life if you or your country, your intelligence agency, gets involved in our elections again. Do you get it? And he could have I don't know. And then he could have said, I'm going to go out here. Not personal. What I'm going to say, though, might sting a little bit, but it's for the American people, because I got this thing hanging over my head. That somehow you got something over me, that somehow you're the only reason I won the election, that somehow I am your puppet. And we know none of those things are true. So I'm going to let the American people know. Don't take it personal. It's just business. And he didn't do any of that stuff today. Now, he could have done the first. He could have threatened him or really got, terse with him when he was inside of the room together. And we'll never know that because what happens in that room stays in that room. It's kind of like Vegas, right? Kind of like the first rule of Fight Club. You don't talk about Fight Club. But when he came out and he spoke, I just felt like, dude, wait, what? I feel like what you're saying here isn't the thing that you should be saying. You're kind of throwing America's intelligence agency under the bus, and then you're taking a good portion of the blame for what took place. We know they tried to influence the election.
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today.
Yeah. I'm sure he was. What is he going to say? Of course we did this. You know we do these things, right? No, that's what he was supposed to say. And he didn't. And then he talked about Hillary and the server and all this kind of crap and the probe.
The probe is a disaster for our country. I think it's kept us apart. It's kept us separated. There was no collusion at all.
It's frustrated. I was very frustrated. The right has come out and the left has come out, and both sides have said, Former CIA Chief Brennan said it was treasonous, imbecilic. I don't know about that, but it definitely, I don't think it helped him. I don't think it helped him at all. I think he could have been stronger, and I just don't think he did what he needed to do, especially for the American people. I think he fell short. And to me, it was frustrating because I don't think the election, and what I've been saying here today, which I don't hear anybody else touching on, is we're giving Russia way too much credit here. Either they're the greatest masterminds of espionage in the history of the world, and then somehow 12, 15, 20, 30, 100 people could sway an election here in America because of their brilliance, working inside with a handful of people here. Or we're overthinking the room. We're giving them a little too much credit, I think. They're probably sitting back going, man, they think we did all of this stuff? What you've done is you planted a seed of doubt along the way enough that it spread like wildfire for a lot of people. It also is an excuse maker for other people, right? There's an excuse. You've got a built-in excuse now of why this happened. This is what happened, and because of this is the reason I'm not this. And the reason I'm not this and he's that is because you did this to me. So you've got a bit of a built-in excuse. But I think we're overthinking a little bit too much. We're giving too much credit to them. Not saying they did meddle. They absolutely meddled. That, I think, is absolutely 100% the reality of what took place. They meddled in our election. They littered us with fake ads and all kinds of BS, and they did all kinds of things. Yes, absolutely. 100%, I believe they meddled. But to the point where it influenced so many people, I sit back and I say to myself, maybe we're overthinking this. Maybe we're thinking they did far more than they really did. And that we've built it up in our minds that this thing that took place, on the run up to that November night was so massive, was so intricate, was so brilliant. And if you step back and you think, well, hold on a second. Was it really? Was it really that, or maybe, just maybe, it's something to talk about. Not saying it doesn't need to be dealt with. I think the Mueller investigation needs to get finished. I think we need to sort this thing out, and I think it needs to go away. And this is something, the cloud that's going to hang over Trump for his entire presidency. But could we, for just a moment, say to ourselves, are we giving them a little too much credit? Because I think we are. You know, when I talk to people who are Democrats who think that this happened, I ask them, were you influenced? Well, I wasn't. So wait a minute here. Nobody I know seems to be influenced at all because they were too smart and they caught it. Yet at the same time, it's supposed to have a massive effect. Well, which is it? Well, it's me. They didn't influence me. Okay. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. The left and the right are not thrilled by what took place today.
I don't believe Mr. Putin. I believe our intelligence officials who produced the intelligence community assessment, and I believe the indictment that Robert Mueller has now presented.
That right there, a Republican, John Cornyn, Texas, right? He doesn't believe it, and he thinks Trump's maybe confused.
In the president's mind, I think he's conflating two different things, the meddling and the collusion allegations for which there does not appear to be any evidence.
All right. See, so what he's saying is, in Trump's mind, maybe he's thinking they're one and the same. I don't think that to be true. I just think, I get it if you're Trump. I get the frustration. This is going to live with you for your entire presidency, whether it's another 2 years or another 6 years. It's going to live with you. It'll always be over you. This will always be the black cloud hanging over. And for Trump, it's going to always drive him crazy. For some people like Hillary, she didn't seem to care. I've said it last week and I'll say it again. If you told Hillary you could be president, but you got to do, the Russians are going to be, this thing's going to hang over you. She'd be like, I don't care. She didn't care. For Trump, he feels like he's, like there's going to always be an asterisk by his name as president. And I think it drives him crazy. I think that ego side of him drives him crazy. But yeah, I was frustrated with the way he handled things today. What do you think? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. We've got a poll question up today asking, was there, in this last election, what was the influence on the election huge to the point where it had a massive effect? 26% said huge effect. 35% says little effect. 39% says no effect. Take the poll at Chad Benson Show. You can tweet at us as well. You can also text the program 323-538-2423. 323-538-2423. If I was to tell you, I come to you and I say, hey, I'm going to get you a free membership to somewhere, and it doesn't cost you a penny, and it's going to get you 40% off movie tickets. It's going to get you 40% off themed park like SeaWorld, Legoland, Six Flags, Disneyland, Disney World, just to name a few. Discounts on hotel bookings, rental car, travel, the whole nine yards. And oh, by the way, they're going to advocate on your behalf for Social Security reform, comprehensive immigration reform, and things like that. What would you say? And I say it's free. You'd probably say it's too good to be true. Well, it is free, and it's AMAC, and they're ready for you. Absolutely free. No games at all. All they ask, 50 years or older. 50 years or older. Nothing else. They're not going to ask for a credit card. There's no cost. There's no tricks. It's a free membership, and your opportunity is to join today for free. That's it. Free. Free. Doesn't get any Free. Free. Doesn't get any cheaper than that. All you have to do is go to amac.us/Chad. That's amac.us/Chad. Free membership. Doesn't cost you a penny. No credit card. Just a few minutes to sign up, and away you go. You're going to receive all those benefits and more. It's amazing. Call today, 888-355-1668. 888-355-1668 or online at amac.us/Chad. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, ChadBenson. Sacha Baron Cohen, he's got some people, and some of the stuff, man, I tell you what, makes you scratch your head. Chad Benson Show.
Welcome to Chad. No, not the country. The institution. The Chad Benson Show.
He's fooling lots of people. Makes you laugh.
I'd like to tell you about a new comedy that's coming, but we can't. The creators won't let us show you a scene. The lawyers won't let us tell you the name of the star. And we can't even reveal the show's title, or we'd be breaking our non-disclosure agreement. How do we promote perhaps the most dangerous show in the history of television when we're not allowed to show it? Something huge is coming. July 15th, only on Showtime.
I hope you'll tune in next week for an interview with me.
Dick Cheney, fooled. Sarah Palin fooled. So many people fooled by Sacha Baron Cohen, Ali G, Borat, many other characters he's played. And this new show debuted, and it is he gets people. It's all about the gotcha. And it's not, he apparently got Bernie Sanders, too. Thought this is a bit weird, right? Kind of the headlines I saw, he was befuddled by Sacha Baron Cohen. So last night was the debut of the show, and it was about the Second Amendment and arming toddlers.
I needed to find politicians who would fight for the Second Amendment right of toddlers to bear firearms at preschool.
Oh, my God. So you're thinking to yourself, there's no way that anybody would say this is a great idea. It's no way. It's just no way. No, just could, yeah.
I support the kindergarten program. We in America would be wise to implement it, too. It's something that we should think about in America, about putting guns in the hands of law-abiding citizens, good guys, whether they be teachers or whether they actually be talented children or highly trained preschoolers.
That's Trent line. Highly trained preschoolers. Highly trained preschoolers. And this guy was supposed to be, I think, like a Mossad guy or something like that. And so people were kind of excited about him. And this is the highly trained preschoolers. You'd think to yourself, and somebody said to call them out. We'll get on that in a second. But I'd be like, are you insane? Now, look, back in the day when you were a child, and by a child I mean 5, 6, 7, 8, you'd go shooting with your dad when you were really, a long time ago, because it's all about gun safety. But it's not about highly trained preschoolers like you're building some sort of special force like the movie Hitman, where you're growing them inside of a lab and they're all going to learn ninja skills and stuff like that. No, come on.
Itself from a assault rifle by throwing a Hello Kitty pencil case at it. Our founding fathers did not put an age limit on the Second Amendment.
The intensive 3-week kindergarten course introduces specially selected children from 12 to 4 years old to pistols, rifles, semi-automatics, and a rudimentary knowledge of mortars. In less than a month, a first grader can become a first grenader.
Oh, my God. Mortars. Mortars.
The science behind this program is proven. At age 4, a child processes images 80% faster than an adult, meaning that essentially, like owls, they can see in slow motion. Children under 5 also have elevated levels of the pheromone Blink-182, produced by the part of the liver known as the Rita Ora. This allows nerve reflexes to travel along the Cardi B neural pathway to the Wiz Khalifa 40% faster, saving time and saving lives.
Oh, my God. By the way, those are bands and singers and whatnot. But Matt gets, he gets it.
You want me to say on television that I support 3- and 4-year-olds with firearms? Is that what you're asking me to do?
Yes. You can do
Typically, members of Congress don't just hear a story about a program and then indicate whether they support it or not.
Yeah, kind of got it. Matt Getz got it. And it's all, look, it's to show the absurdity. It's satire. But the fact that some people came out and said, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. And I think all kids, when they feel comfortable, you should always take once in a, look, Jack's at that age where, you take him to a range, 8, 10 years old, talk about respect, let him shoot a little 22 maybe. My dad did it. Most of you out there did it too. But as far as arming children and stuff like that, that's insane. But it is satire. But man, they're getting hammered. It kind of makes me laugh a little bit. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
We actually know what Trump's reaction is because just a few months ago he said, quote, Putin said he didn't meddle. Every time he sees me, he says, I didn't do that. And I really believe that when he tells me, he really means it, end quote. And so really Trump is going into this negotiation with our most sophisticated adversary. And Vladimir Putin is not some ordinary guy. This is a sophisticated KGB agent and former KGB agent. And, Trump is not really any of that. So this is kind of like LeBron James playing basketball against my kid. This is a frightening, frightening thing.
Well, yeah, I'm sure if LeBron played against anybody's kids, right, would probably destroy him. LeBron's pretty good from what I hear. It's what I heard. I don't know. Some of you probably debate that. Again, this whole thing today is interesting. I think, I'm getting a lot of texts from you guys who are supporters of Trump saying, you know what, Chad, I felt he missed the mark today as well. I'm getting some people saying out there, what if, there's one person who just tweeted at me say, what is Putin set Trump up, showing that he did fix the election and he's holding Trump hostage? It's the great what if, right? Because you can't prove it. You can't disprove it. What if he did do that? Could you imagine if Trump came out today and said, you know what, guys, I found out information about this that I didn't know about, that our intelligence community didn't know about. And that they did indeed do things to our system here that changed votes and blah, 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 blah. So what if? We can't prove any of that, right? Trump will never do that. Plus, be honest here, I don't think the intelligence community, as much as he kind of hammered them today, I don't think they want them finding that out either. Be like, whoa, we really missed. We didn't just miss. We hit a home run, we thought, but we got thrown out at first. No, they don't want that. They don't want that. But we can't prove or disprove any of it, and that's just it, because this entire thing is going to be he said, she said, or he said, he said. And it's sad. It is very, very, very sad. It really is. And one other thing I want to point out, as much as I was disappointed in Trump today, can we just for a moment, whether you like Trump or hate Trump or whatever it is, the guy's not an idiot. Well, Pooter may be. It's so funny because everybody I know that I talk to who hates Trump talks about how devious he is, how evil he is, how all of these things are. And yet, when it comes to other people, he's a puppy dog, right? He's a lapdog. No, if he's as evil as you think he is, evil will fight evil. Especially if their life is at stake and their livelihood and their reputation of forever is at stake. So let's not forget that Trump himself is not an idiot. And he, too, knows how to play some games. Maybe not to the level of Pooter, but maybe with the intelligence community and all the other things that we have, there's a field that we all play on where things are equaled out, if you will. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So Elon Musk, this is very interesting over the week. I don't know what he was doing. He had suggested that they use one of these little these tube sub things that, remember when you were a kid? I think they still have them somewhere. I don't know if you remember these, Phil, when you go to a certain bank and you could do your banking and you stick it through the tube and it gets sucked to the banker and then put it back through a tube and it come to you. Well, he's got his little tube sub and he thought this would be the great way to rescue these kids. And he got a lot of blowback from Verns Unworth, one of the divers, I guess, that was there to help out. And, basically told him he could take his little tube and shove it, if you will. And then it kind of went really south with Elon Musk.
Had absolutely no chance of working. He had no conception of what the cave passage was like. The submarine, I believe, was about 5'6" long, rigid, so it wouldn't have gone round corners or round any obstacles. It wouldn't have made the first 50 meters into the cave from the dive start point. Just a PR stunt and stick his submarine where it hurts.
So that's what he said, right? Which is probably a little bit more than you needed to say. He just said, look, you know what? I don't know if everything with Elon anymore seems to be a PR stunt. So he came out over the weekend and tweeted and basically called him a pedophile, saying the reason he lives there is because he's a pedo. And people were like, what? And he's like, I bet a signed dollar bill on it. And then he's since taken that stuff down. But what in God's name are you doing calling another human being? Do you have proof, right, that he's a pedo? Do you have proof that this guy is a pedo bear, that he's a pedophile, that he's moved to Thailand so he can do what? Now, that's where people used to go. For young kids, not saying that, doesn't still happen. But for you to come out and accuse somebody of that is insane. And I want to see what the backlash is going to be, if any. You called somebody a pedophile, somebody who helped in the rescue of 12 kids. You called him a pedophile, and I'm just, what are you thinking? Who thought that was a good idea? And we'll see where the backlash is going to come from, if any at all. Now, last week, we got wind that Papa John's, right? John Schneider, who is Papa John for all intents and purposes, he got in trouble for something apparently that took place in May, and he has lost pretty much. He's lost his sponsorship. Major League Baseball is not working with him. NFL, they already had some issues with the NFL, which we knew about. Louisville, where he sat on the board, he's no longer on the board. They've removed the name on the stadium. A lot of these things are happening fast. And then we found out over the weekend, I don't know if you saw this, anybody saw this, they removed him from his office. They told him, not only can you no longer CEO, you no longer representative on the board, you no longer any of the things anymore at all. You can't even come here. You're done. You're dusted. You're gone. Well, he's now talking out.
Former CEO of Papa John's is speaking out. John Schneider claiming in a radio interview his use of the N-word was the result of pressure from a marketing agency.
The agency was promoting that vocabulary in that genre. And I made it real clear, listen, we're not going to go there. We're not going to talk about this. And they pushed me, and it upset me.
Tonight.
So they pushed him. Now, the story has been that, and a lot of this, I think, has to do with the NFL, and we'll talk a bit about that. But the story has been that in this meeting, he was discussing certain things about certain people in the past, and that he didn't directly call anybody out. He just used some of the language, apparently, that you're not supposed to use, and he said it.
Tonight, the agency is not commenting, and Schneider is doing damage control after this Forbes article revealed that he complained during a conference call that KFC's Colonel Sanders called blacks the N-word and never received backlash. The comments made during a media training session intended to avoid public relations blunders after he made comments in January about anthem protests in the NFL.
And he said that the anthem protests have hurt the NFL and has hurt his bottom line. And that was, in this day and age, you've got to watch what you say and who's going to perceive what. Because, if you have it is right to say it, but it did hurt publicly Papa's John's, at least the stock price, which is, look, you've got a board of directors. People are looking around there saying that this is hurting our bottom line. And I don't even know if they're traded public, but they're looking at that saying we're taking a beating here. And that's not good because that's what matters. In the end, it's the bottom line, right? In the end, for these guys and gals who are CEOs, they're held, everything that they do it's all based on that price, that profit, the whole 9 yards. And they can withstand some downturns in markets and things like that. They expect that. But it's when you really start to hurt the bottom line, which hurts the entire part of the company, and you're seen as basically an anchor anymore instead of an engine, that you pay the price. Now, I don't know what took place. I don't know what's in his heart. I don't know how he really feels. I don't know any of those things. But to see how swift this took place, and there's no call for that kind of language. There is no call for that whatsoever. And we've discussed that ad nauseum on this thing, on our show on numerous occasions. But I'm trying to figure out, were they trying to get him to say it? Is that what they were doing? Because the way he makes it sound is like they were goading me to say it. So I said it, and it's bizarre the way this whole thing went down.
The fallout has been swift. The company Schneider helped build, removing his image from promotional materials, and the University of Louisville removing his name from its stadium.
My employees are distraught. They're crushed. And it's all because I was sloppy and I wasn't as sensitive.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not, once again, it's another one of those things where I wasn't there and I don't know anybody else who was there. But what I do know is it's a mess. And because it's a mess, he's paying the price for it. And he was sloppy, as he says. Yes, he was. But I want to hear the other side. The fact that the PR firm is really quiet about this makes me go, okay, what's going on here? But you see how swift some people are. And I'm wondering, the N-word's horrible. Calling somebody a pedophile is pretty brutal as well. And what's that? Is there any repercussions for him? And not only calling somebody a pedophile, then doubling down later saying he'd bet somebody a signed dollar bill that that's true. Is there going to be swift repercussions on this? And what would those be? Because Elon Musk is kind of like Steve Jobs, right? Like, as horrible as they are and as sensitive as they may be, that is kind of the engine that drives that ship. So did people just ignore it because of brand loyalty to a place where, because, and that's the different kind of brand, isn't it? Right? Like Papa John's is pizza. I had people who used to tell me, I can't tell if that guy really owns the company. It was just a character. Where you know what Steve Jobs is and Elon Musk, you know who they are, right? Like that's Tesla. Interesting. Call somebody a pedo. What would call, oh, God. And here's a question. How would you spin this one, Elon, if we sent down there to get one of the kids in the tube and it ended up being a coffin rather than a tube? How would you spin that one? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. What's your Twitter? It's the Chad Benson Show.
You call it ridiculous. We call it reality with a twist. Say what?
Say what? Yeah, I don't think you want to turn him loose.
One of our staff saw that our 3-year-old male Jaguar Valerio was outside of his enclosure, and the zoo was closed at that time, and immediately he followed procedures, secured himself inside a building, and alerted the rest of the team. The animal was then approached and sedated by our veterinary team and returned and secured in his night quarters.
Yeah. So Valerio is a 3-year-old Jaguar. They got him from San Diego Zoo. So he's out there in New Orleans. And it's not a good situation, kids. It's not a good situation at all. He gets out and goes on a rampage. As of now, 9 animals are killed. He is now alive. They said they have no plans whatsoever to put him to sleep. And it's interesting. I mean, that's a scary thing. They had to close down the zoo, and you're like, say what? But he went hunting. He did what nature intends it to do, which is he liked to go hunting, and he hunted.
While there were no human injuries,
Say
we
what?
did suffer the sad loss of 4 alpaca, 1 emu, and 1 fox that lived in nearby habitats. They were attacked and did not survive.
And now they found out that it was actually more than that. 9 are officially dead in the rampage. And it was, again, it's an animal that is smart, that has probably only ever known captivity, got out, and did what nature's, it's like, I see an alpaca. I want one of those. I don't know why, but I want one.
The safety of our guests and our staff and our animals is our number one priority, and we take this situation very seriously and are working to investigate everything that happened so that we can prevent anything like this from happening again. We're looking at every possible cause.
Say what? You know what I thought of when I first heard this? And they said we close the zoo. My thought was like, here's the deal. It's half off today with a caveat. You may get killed. There'll be some people like, I'll try that. I'm saving money. I got 6 people I got to take to this thing. I will save a little bit of money. So let's do this. Let's do this. It's half off. It's half off Sunday at the New Orleans Zoo, and you may be half off when you get finished at the New Orleans Zoo. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. People are texting in, and I want to hear from you. As we talk about this whole Russia thing and the investigation, and my big take has been, I was disappointed. I think Trump could have done better today. A lot of people are echoing those sentiments, but I want to point out that I think we're giving Russia too much credit for what they were, quote unquote, able to do, because I don't think it had the influence a lot of other people want to think it had. I don't. And the other thing is, and this is, shouldn't we play down the influence they had? Because to me, all we're doing is playing up the influence, which makes me think that they're going to continue to try because they realize that influence is there, or at least that perception of influence is there. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. I'm reading more and more that the big thing now is people are getting offered jobs and they're ghosting their offers for better jobs. You're looking for that perfect employee, that perfect candidate. ZipRecruiter will stop all that. ZipRecruiter is amazing. You want the perfect hire, you need to post your job in a place that is going to be seen, and ZipRecruiter can help you with that. You can find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. They are amazing. No juggling emails or calls, none of that stuff. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out why ZipRecruiter is being used by, Fortune 100 companies, mom and pop shops, you name it, they use it. There's a reason for that. Right now, my listeners can post a job for free. All you have to do is go to ZipRecruiter.com/report. That's ZipRecruiter.com/report. It is amazing with a single click what you're able to do. Find the best candidate for that job you have out there. ZipRecruiter.com/report. Post your job for free today. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/report. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. ChadBenson. Take the poll question. How much of an influence did Russia have with Trump's victory in the election? Somewhat? Huge? Not at all? Right about a quarter of you think there was a huge effect on the last election. Take the poll question at Chad Benson Show or Facebook as well. It's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
President Trump said he and Russian President Vladimir Putin spent a great deal of time talking about Russia and election interference, but he was asked by a reporter to look forward to future elections.
With the whole world watching, tell President Putin, would you denounce what happened in 2016, and would you warn him to never do it again?
But the president never did that. Instead, he talked about Hillary Clinton's emails and a DNC server. He said while U.S. intelligence leaders tell him that Russia interfered in the election.
President Putin, he just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be.
Oh, we know they interfered. We know they did. How much did that have an effect on the electorate here? The electorate, you, me, everybody else, the voters out there. How much of effect did it have? That's debatable, right? We could debate that all day because it's kind of a mythical question because nobody's going to admit they're stupid. First, let's talk about that. Nobody's going to admit they're stupid. Well, I saw a meme and that's why I changed my vote. Nobody's going to admit that. But I will tell you this. Trump, to me, had an opportunity to send a message back here to the United States of America and to other places around the globe. And I think he failed today. Now, what happens behind closed doors, right? It's like Fight Club. It's like what happens in Vegas. First rule of, Fight Club in Vegas is it stays here, right? It stays in here. What happens in Fight Club? We don't talk about Fight Club. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in this closed room stays here. I don't know what happened, and neither do you. We could speculate. If you're on the left, you think, oh, my God, he's just like, you're the best person ever. You can have anything you want, Putin. You're my hero. That's what you're going to think. Maybe that happened. Maybe he shook his hand, looked over at him and said, dude, I'm going to tell you this right now. You try anything like this again in any of our other elections, old guy, right? Old sheriff, Obama, he didn't do anything. He knew about it, right? Was kind of like, New guy is me. New guy's got this crap hanging over my head because of you. You do anything else like this again, and we get wind of it, I'm going to come put my foot up your ass. You understand that? We speak in the same language? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Maybe he said that. Or maybe it was just they shook hands, they talked about some stuff, they skirted around the issue, and nothing really took place. But he had a chance today to send a message back home here to the United States or America. He had a chance to say, look, we talked about it, and I told him under no circumstances that this will never happen again, that I look at you as the leader of the country and the fact that our intelligence community says that this took place, and I believe them. That you did something. This needs to be handled. And he agreed. But instead, it was,
I addressed directly with President Putin the issue of Russian interference in our elections. I felt this was a message best delivered in person. Spent a great deal of time talking about it.
Yeah. You spent a great deal of time talking about it. You deliver it in person. But what was it? What was it? Because quite frankly, I am not thrilled by the outward. I don't know what happened on the inward. I don't know what happened behind the closed doors when it was just you two. I don't know any of those things. Neither does anybody else but the people inside that room. Right? The interpreter, who by now has probably disappeared, will never be seen again. And that's it. But I will tell you this. You had a chance to send a message. Didn't have to be a big message. You didn't have to come out and say, look, this guy's a Richard. He's an awful human being. You know, you didn't have to do any of that stuff. But you could have sent a message, and you could have even delivered this. Hey, Putin, here's the deal. We've discussed this stuff. I'm getting a lot of flack for it. I know you guys did some stuff. But the reality is I don't think it had the effect that a lot of people think it did. right? And the left hates me over there, but I do need to send a message. So don't take this personal when we go out there and somebody asks me a question about this. I'm going to drop a can of whoop. Don't take it personal. It's just business. But I felt like he missed the opportunity to even do that.
We had direct, open, deeply productive dialogue. Went very well.
Went very well. And all of the other stuff they talk about, right? All of the other crap that they talked about, we're talking about the nuclear, we're talking about Syria, all of that stuff is vitally important. But for us back home, we were looking for something different. We know the Syria thing is a mess. It was an awful mess and has continued to be so. We know the nuclear thing. Look, we need to look at that across the board. And we know 80 to 90% of the nukes are between our two nations. We understand that. Crimea, all of those things are things that are vitally important. But for us here, we were looking for a different message to be delivered. And at least on the face of it, you threw us under the bus and our intelligence community.
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today.
What's he going to say? Of course we did it. Of course. Yeah, we know you did it. We know you did it. We get that. And the fact at one point in time he said, look, both sides need to take some blame. No, wrong. 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 You could have sent a better message today back here. I've said all along, I don't see it where everybody else sees it. Maybe I'm blind. Maybe I am to this. I want my president to succeed. And I've told everybody this 1,000 times. I could say it again. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Hillary. I liked Kasich. But I want him to succeed. In saying that, I think he missed the mark today. But I still don't see all of the there. I'm not saying there's not characters inside the campaign that didn't try to line their pockets and maybe got taken in over their head in situations they didn't even know they were involved with and played rather easily. I'm not saying that. That could have happened. But as far as it cost Hillary the election, you know what cost Hillary the election? Hillary. She didn't listen to the people. Right? She didn't go to the places she needed to go. There was also crap hanging over her head. So that's what cost Hillary the election. But today was an opportunity to send a message. And I felt the message itself wasn't sent the way it could have been. And that, to me, failed. Now, what are the Russians seeing? This was interesting. So the Russians, of course, and let's talk about the Russians. Their media is totally different. There is a line that they must follow, and that you follow this line, and this is it. If you don't follow this line, if you question anything here, you're going to be in trouble, right? So you toe the line, you do what you're supposed to do. It's a free press on everything that's not the pooter. Okay? Free press on everything that's not the pooter. If it comes back in 6 degrees to the poots, if there's any way that he can be connected to it, it's not free. Right? If you want to say this food here is bad, if you want to say this is bad, that's totally fine. Right? If you want to criticize other people, good. The pooter? No. Period. Case closed. End of story. So how did their press and their people see it?
We're seeing Russian TV describing Trump as kind of tense and leaning towards Putin, whereas Putin is very relaxed. And this is all very good at projecting Putin as an indispensable figure in the world.
Yeah. So he kind of got, he got what he wanted. He got what he wanted. And that was the fear for a lot of people. And that's why today I think Trump missed an opportunity to really be strong, and look, if you're on the right and you're a Trump supporter, nothing's really changed. Although I've heard from a lot of Trump supporters today who are very upset about this. Thought he could have been stronger. Thought that would have sent even a stronger message to the Mueller group, and that he missed an opportunity. If you're on the left, this was exactly how you thought it played out. That they were playing grab ass with each other and high-fiving each other and saying we totally stole one, which they asked Trump. They asked Putin, who did you want to win? And he's all, Trump, which I'm sure doesn't help. Of course, if Hillary was there, he probably would have said Hillary, but you can't prove that, and you can't not prove it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. It's your Twitter. You can tweet at us. What do you think? Did you think he missed the mark today? I think he kind of did. I think he did. I still don't see all that collusion and all of this stuff, that this is how the race was won because of all of this stuff. In saying that, I think he still missed the mark today. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Hey, if you're hiring right now, which state... You need to find the best candidate. I read a great article today about how the job opportunities are out there, and people have their choice of job opportunities, and now they're looking at opportunities and they're ghosting the people that are giving them the opportunity, saying, hey, look, I know you hired me, but they're just not responding. They don't even want anything to do with it because they found a better place. You need to find the right candidate. That's what ZipRecruiter's about. You can post your job to 200-plus sites, including social media sites like Facebook and Twitter, with a single click. Boom. You can find candidates any city, any street, nationwide, and this is what's amazing about them. You have to worry about the emails, right? Juggling all those, the calls to your office. You can quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out right now, today, why ZipRecruiter has been used by Fortune 100 companies and thousands of small and medium-sized businesses, and they're ready to help you. This is what I want you to do. Check it out. I want you to try it for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/report. That's ZipRecruiter.com/report. Try it again for free today. ZipRecruiter.com/report. You will not be disappointed. You'll find the right candidate for your position, somebody who is going to come in and help your company, and somebody who you're going to give an opportunity to, and it's going to be right for you. ZipRecruiter.com/report. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, ChadBenson. It's the Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
Party people! People are texting in 323-538-2423. What do you think? Do you think Trump missed the mark today a little bit? Do you think he had a chance? And, you know, with all of the, hey, it's fake news or it's real, it's so, you get so many messages anymore. And I've talked to people over the last couple of weeks that say, you know, at some point in time, you just go, I don't care, right? You give up because you're trying to decipher what's real and what's not real. And because you can't prove everything, right, or disprove everything, you leave enough doubt in there that it's going to be like this for Trump for a long time. And I think there is I think Trump missed the mark today, and I think there's absolutely, since the day he was elected, has been, you know, the surprise that happened that was Trump, that has been this thing to discredit his presidency, and because people don't like the guy. I get that, right? I get that. And Hillary had her issues, and that's one thing that we failed to, whenever I talk to anybody on the left, and I say, you know, Hillary had issues too. And they go, yeah. But her issues are different. It's a joke. It's a joke. And the fight that is on right now over this stuff, we're not going to get through. Meaning, we're not going to finally come to some sort of conclusion where the majority of the country says, oh, okay. Right? Because you'll always have those hardcore people that they're always buy into something. What you're going to have is those hardcore people are still going to be there, but everybody else is going to be more confused than, oh, I get it now. Oh, I see it through. Everybody else is going to be like, well, maybe, possible? I don't know. Maybe, it could be. Like, that's what you're going to get a lot of could be's. Maybe it's, I guess. And we'll never know what took place in that room today. The discussion, we'll never know the full thing. He may come out and say something. And he may come here and say some stuff. But we'll never know. Because the people on the left, even if he comes out and says, look, I really crushed him. I didn't want to embarrass him there. The people on the left are going to be like, yeah, you're lying. People on the right like, yeah, absolutely. Nobody's going to, it's like, I was joking with somebody the other day. It's like, proving this stuff is like, proving there is or isn't a God. Can't prove there is, can't prove there isn't. So, or intelligent design or whatever you want to call it. So say, we can't prove that he didn't come down on him hard. Can't prove that he did. We're going to leave it up to you. The faith that you have in this man. For a lot of people out there, there's no faith whatsoever. For a lot of people out there, there's plenty of faith. And for a lot of people in the middle, they're still skeptical. Right? Trump Gnostics. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet along with us. We have a poll question up today about the election itself. Do you feel that all of that meddling that did take place, which we know happened, do you think that played a huge part in the election? 26% say huge, 40% say little effect, 34% say no effect. Take it at Chad Benson Show. You can also tweet at us. You can also text the program, 323-538-2423. Papa John is speaking. Interesting indeed. It's funny how he has been held to a certain standard when somebody who's kind of been a darling of the left and for a lot of people, Elon Musk, did something over the weekend that's not getting the kind of play. What do you hear what he accused somebody, one of the Thai rescue divers, of being? Just so bizarre. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
We actually know what Trump's reaction is because just a few months ago he said, quote, Putin said he didn't meddle. Every time he sees me, he says, I didn't do that. And I really believe that when he tells me, he really means it, end quote. And so really Trump is going into this negotiation with our most sophisticated adversary. And Vladimir Putin is not some ordinary guy. This is a sophisticated KGB agent and former KGB agent. And, Trump is not really any of that. So this is kind of like LeBron James playing basketball against my kid. This is a frightening thing.
Well, yeah, I'm sure if LeBron played against anybody's kids, right, it would probably destroy him. LeBron's pretty good from what I hear. It's what I heard. I don't know. Some of you probably debate that. Again, this whole thing today is interesting. I think, I'm getting a lot of texts from you guys who are supporters of Trump saying, you know what, Chad, I felt he missed the mark today as well. I'm getting some people saying out there, what if, there's one person just tweeted at me, say, what is Putin set Trump up, showing that he did fix the election and he's holding Trump hostage? It's the great what if, right? Because you can't prove it. You can't disprove it. What if he did do that? Could you imagine if Trump came out today and said, you know what, guys, I found out information about this that I didn't know about, that our intelligence community didn't know about, and that they did indeed do things to our system here that changed votes and blah, 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 blah. So what if? We can't prove any of that, right? Trump will never do that. Plus, be honest here, I don't think the intelligence community, as much as he kind of hammered them today, I don't think they want them finding that out either. Be like, whoa, we really missed. We didn't just miss. We hit a home run, we thought, but we got thrown out at first. No, they don't want that. They don't want that. But we can't prove or disprove any of it, and that's just it, because this entire thing is going to be he said, she said, or he said, he said. And it's sad. It is very, very, very sad. It really is. And one other thing I want to point out, as much as I was disappointed in Trump today, can we just for a moment, whether you like Trump or hate Trump or whatever it is, the guy's not an idiot. Well, Pooter maybe. It's so funny because everybody I know that I talk to who hates Trump talks about how devious he is, how evil he is, how all of these things are. And yet, when it comes to other people, he's a puppy dog, right? He's a lapdog. No, if he's as evil as you think he is, evil will fight evil. Especially if their life is at stake and their livelihood and their reputation of forever is at stake. So let's not forget that Trump himself is not an idiot. And he, too, knows how to play some games. Maybe not to the level of Pooter, but maybe with the intelligence community and all the other things that we have, there's a field that we all play on where things are equaled out, if you will. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So Elon Musk, this is very interesting over the week. I don't know what he was doing. He had suggested that they use one of these these tube sub things that, remember when you were a kid? I think they still have them somewhere. I don't know if you remember these, Phil, when you go to a certain bank and you could do your banking and you stick it through the tube and it gets sucked to the banker and then put it back through a tube and it come to you. Well, he's got his little tube sub and he thought this would be the great way to rescue these kids. And he got a lot of blowback from Vern Unworth, one of the divers, I guess, that was there to help out. And, basically told him he could take his little tube and shove it, if you will. And then it kind of went really south with Elon Musk.
Had absolutely no chance of working. He had no conception of what the cave passage was like. The submarine, I believe, was about 5'6" long, rigid, so it wouldn't have gone round corners or round any obstacles. It wouldn't have made the first 50 meters into the cave from the dive start point. Just a PR stunt and stick his submarine where it hurts.
So that's what he said, right? Which is probably a little bit more than he needed to say. He just said, look, you know what? I don't know if everything with Elon anymore seems to be a PR stunt. So he came out over the weekend and tweeted and basically called him a pedophile, saying the reason he lives there is because he's a pedo. And people were like, what? And he's like, I bet a signed dollar bill on it. And then he's since taken that stuff down. But what in God's name are you doing calling another human being? Do you have proof, right, that he's a pedo? Do you have proof that this guy is a pedo bear, that he's a pedophile, that he's moved to Thailand so he can do what? Now, that's where people used to go. For young kids, not saying that, doesn't still happen. But for you to come out and accuse somebody of that is insane. And I want to see what the backlash is going to be, if any. You called somebody a pedophile, somebody who helped in the rescue of 12 kids. You called him a pedophile, and I'm just, what are you thinking? Who thought that was a good idea? And we'll see where the backlash is going to come from, if any at all. Now, last week, we got wind that Papa John's, right? John Schneider, who is Papa John for all intents and purposes, he got in trouble for something apparently it took place in May, and he has lost pretty much. He's lost his sponsorship. Major League Baseball is not working with him. NFL, they already had some issues with the NFL, which we knew about. Louisville, where he sat on the board. He's no longer on the board. They've removed the name on the stadium. A lot of these things are happening fast. And then we found out over the weekend, I don't know if you saw this, anybody saw this, they removed him from his office. They told him not only can you no longer CEO, you no longer representative on the board, you no longer any of the things anymore at all. You can't even come here. You're done. You're dusted. You're gone. Well, he's now talking out.
Former CEO of Papa John's is speaking out. John Schnatter claiming in a radio interview his use of the N-word was the result of pressure from a marketing agency.
The agency was promoting that vocabulary in that genre. And I made it real clear, listen, we're not going to go there. We're not going to talk about this. And they pushed me, and it upset me.
Tonight.
So they pushed him. Now, the story has been that, and a lot of this I think has to do with the NFL, and we'll talk a bit about that. But the story has been that in this meeting, he was discussing certain things about certain people in the past. And that he didn't directly call anybody out. He just used some of the language, apparently, that you're not supposed to use, and he said it.
Tonight, the agency is not commenting, and Schnatter is doing damage control after this Forbes article revealed that he complained during a conference call that KFC's Colonel Sanders called blacks the N-word and never received backlash. The comments made during a media training session intended to avoid public relations blunders after he made comments in January about anthem protests in the NFL.
And he said that the anthem protests have hurt the NFL and has hurt his bottom line. And that was, in this day and age, you've got to watch what you say and who's going to perceive what. Because, if you have it is right to say it, but it did hurt publicly Papa John's, at least the stock price, which is, look, you've got a board of directors. People are looking around there saying that this is hurting our bottom line. And I don't even know if they're traded public, but they're looking at that saying we're taking a beating here. And that's not good because that's what matters. In the end, it's the bottom line, right? In the end, for these guys and gals who are CEOs, they're held, everything that they do is it's all based on that price, that profit, the whole 9 yards. And they can withstand some downturns in markets and things like that. They expect that. But it's when you really start to hurt the bottom line, which hurts the entire part of the company, and you're seen as basically an anchor anymore instead of an engine, that you pay the price. Now, I don't know what took place. I don't know what's in his heart. I don't know how he really feels. I don't know any of those things. But to see how swift this took place, and there's no call for that kind of language. There is no call for that whatsoever. And we've discussed that ad nauseum on this thing, on our show on numerous occasions. But I'm trying to figure out, were they trying to get him to say it? Is that what they were doing? Because the way he makes it sound is like they were goading me to say it. So I said it, and it's bizarre the way this whole thing went down.
The fallout has been swift. The company Schnatter helped build, removing his image from promotional materials, and the University of Louisville removing his name from its stadium.
My employees are distraught. They're crushed, and it's all because I was sloppy and I wasn't as sensitive.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not, once again, it's another one of those things where I wasn't there and I don't know anybody else who was there. But what I do know is it's a mess. And because it's a mess, he's paying the price for it. And he was sloppy, as he says. Yes, he was. But I want to hear the other side. The fact that the PR firm is really quiet about this makes me go, okay, what's going on here? But you see how swift some people are. And I'm wondering, the N-word's horrible. Calling somebody a pedophile is pretty brutal as well. And what's that? Is there any repercussions for him? And not only calling somebody a pedophile, then doubling down later saying he'd bet somebody a signed dollar bill that's true. Is there going to be swift repercussions on this? And what would those be? Because Elon Musk is kind of like Steve Jobs, right? As horrible as they are and as sensitive as they may be, that is kind of the engine that drives that ship. So did people just ignore it because of brand loyalty to a place where, because, and that's the different kind of brand, isn't it? Right? like Papa John's is pizza. I had people who used to tell me, I can't tell if that guy really owns the company. It was just a character. Where you know what Steve Jobs is and Elon Musk, you know who they are, right? Like, that's Tesla. Interesting. Call somebody a pedo. What would call, oh, God. And here's a question. How would you spin this one, Elon, if we sent down there to get one of the kids in the tube and it ended up being a coffin rather than a tube? How would you spin that one? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Hey, speaking of the future of investing is here. It is cryptocurrency. It is amazing. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, all of these things are great to look at. But first you need to go, hey, I need to diversify. And in the way that I'm going to diversify is by knowledge, learning. Tiki Tawari from the Palm Beach Letter, former Wall Street guy, hedge fund guy. He's put together this amazing course for my listeners. And it really is incredible. It's an educational course on how you trade cryptocurrencies, how you use cryptocurrencies, where you buy cryptocurrencies, what is the method behind trading these things. He's going to show you all that and more. So that way you get an education on how this stuff works and you can actually put it to good use. You decide to yourself, you know what? I want to invest in this. And now that I know, hey, I'm ready to go. Or maybe you say, but you got to learn first. And that is vitally important. And I will tell you, everybody, I think, should be diversified in this and have a little bit of this. It doesn't take a lot to get started. I think you'll be really, really happy with this course. Check it out for yourself. I urge you to do so at amazingcryptoclass.com, amazingcryptoclass.com. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, ChadBenson. Talk a smidge about a plane ride from hell, and I've got your useless fact of the day. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Deep states? No. Deep doo-doo? Yeah. The Chad Benson Show.
So you're in an airplane, and then all hell breaks loose.
Number one to the flight deck.
Panic as sudden loss of pressure hits Ryanair flight FR 7312 just hours after taking off from Ireland bound for Croatia. Some so injured they were advised it was too dangerous to travel again by air and instead transferred by bus to Croatia, an 18-hour journey.
Oh my God. Oh my Lord. And so what happened? So you're on an airplane and all of a sudden, you start to plunge.
The flight descending more than 28,000 feet in less than 10 minutes.
The plane just started to go downwards.
Passengers shaken and confused. After the terrifying plunge, more than 30 people needed hospital treatment. Passengers suffered from nausea, headaches. Some were seen bleeding from the ears.
Bleeding from the ears. What a freakish thing to have happen. And the terror of it all, right? Because you probably just cruise along thinking everything's okay, and all of a sudden it starts to descend, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but that is quick.
Video from inside the cabin showing passengers wearing oxygen masks. The flight making an emergency landing in Frankfurt, Germany. 33 passengers had to be hospitalized. Roxanne Brownlee described what it was like.
Like children crying and kids shouting, "Mommy, am I going to die?" We're fitting the oxygen masks on, and the plane is just plummeting.
Oh, God. Terrifying. And they're going to be looking at what took place on this thing, but it is not a good situation, and it is a scary thing. I mean, it really is. You're on an airplane because it's like we talked about with cars, right? You get on a car, you're out there, and you get a flat tire, something happens, you pull over. You're 35,000 feet in the air. There is no pulling over. And sometimes it's something small, and other times it's something huge. And luckily for these people, in the end, it turned out to be everybody's still alive, and that's great, but it'll probably make you think more than a few times before you get back on an airplane again. Oh, Chad, why you say that about Ryanair? It's flying high. It's cheap air. Ryanair is essentially the Southwest of Europe. Cheap airfares, no frills. It got you there, but it took 18 hours for some of you to get there. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So how much do you think the Russia meddling played a part in Trump winning and the election. So far, most of you, 25% of you say huge effect, 42% of you say little effect, 33% say no effect. You can take it at Chad Benson Show. You can tweet at us as well. You can also text the program, 323-538-2423, 323-538-2423. Also want to get your thoughts throughout the day on Trump today with Putin. I think he missed the mark. I think he had an opportunity here to do something and to send a message back home to the people watching and looking at this, and I think he missed the mark on that. And, the first impression with the Pooter is that, he kind of had his number today. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Your useless fact of the day. The guy who created Donkey Kong thought donkey meant stupid because he wanted the game to be called Stupid Ape. He didn't know. Hence the reason we call it Donkey Kong. Something stupid for you in your brain to keep there today. Have a good rest of your Monday. Night-night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.